Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 10 of Let's Talk Not Argue, the capping episode for season 1 and the last episode of the year, technically speaking. Yeah. It's lit. We're still surprisingly going. We've done 6 episodes in this semester. I'm shocked.
Did we really?
Yeah, we did 6 episodes in this semester, yeah.
Okay, you don't want to.
I'm invisible.
Leilani, your friend.
Hey guys,
I'm here for my heroin addiction.
You are?
What?
Well, you need to leave because I ain't here for you right now.
First topic. Are we excited to get this tax money back for the last 4 years? Majority, I'm sorry, but we're praising Trump tonight. We gotta praise Trump tonight.
Okay.
Hold on.
I don't pay taxes, so
I don't.
What?
Okay.
So much is happening.
I got something to tell you about that.
I haven't paid taxes.
I just don't have
It is like
a
what I actually should say. Please don't come after me, IRS.
Tax
Yo.
bills hurt me one last time for the year when I get paid.
Damn.
They put in my bonus check with my normal check one last. Oh.
Why are you excited? Why are you excited?
I'm excited because the way I feel it, America's going to shit. The economy's going to crash. We're probably going to go to North Korea. I like to go out with some extra money in my pocket. I don't know about
I'm trying to get buried with my funds.
This is
So.
the end of the American way of life as we know it. I want to increase my net worth a little bit.
It's a fact.
I found my Kanye tattoo, so I'm with it.
What?
But what the fuck?
Well, you just said you wasn't with it.
I'm not. When I thought about Kanye,
What?
Kanye's the only variable.
All right, so can we admit that Trump finally did something, right?
when did he do anything wrong, technically?
Oh, no. This is like 8 years ago.
Wait.
Is anyone
come
saying
on.
anything?
Donald
We've
Trump
been
has done
saying
a lot
shit.
of great things for us. We break it down.
Let me know.
I never seen black people care about knowing about the government till Donald Trump.
What? No! Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Obama did that,
Nah,
honey.
he didn't.
Obama
We
did
was
that. That's
rooting
how
for
people
Obama just because he was black. Nobody really cared. I
No.
was
People
in
got
school.
into
Moderator,
politics.
moderate.
Do not even come like
Alex
that.
wasn't even 18 yet. You couldn't even vote with Obama.
Yes, I did.
coming up.
I'm sorry. I voted his first term. I voted for Obama's first term.
All I'm saying
I'm older than all y'all in this room.
Alex is older than
I'm older than all of you guys.
alternative facts?
You want my ID?
Alternative facts. I want y'all to do
I
it.
voted the first term. Trying to
At
come
least
saying.
black people within my age group, since she obviously isn't, for what she's telling me,
I ain't got
Preach,
no
bro,
home.
preach, bro.
for what she's telling me, you want me to preach?
Preach, bro. I got another thing Trump did for us.
Oh, great now.
We don't need facts anymore. I can say whatever I want, and you have to take it as law.
Oh my God,
That's
that's
a
long.
fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
I can tell my
Shout out to
girl
Big Homie.
anything, and she just has to take it.
This
It's like,
nigga
you
cheat.
don't
That's all it sounds like to me. She said she gotta take what if I say is law. Nah. We out here. Shout out to Big Homie Trump.
my chest.
Y'all all seriously gonna listen to this bullshit?
Look,
When they first
My
did this
job,
shit,
All y'all faces are like,
my job here is to be most hated. I'm not here to drop.
when we first had this podcast,
Get us up
like,
beside-
yo,
yeah, I get
if
it.
we were popular as shit, we would have lost thousands of views.
Not me. They'd have been watching it with Super Channel and say next. I'm starting my own show.
Thank God we ain't
Look.
lying.
I got a headache already. I mean, I never once said my social media, so I don't care. So,
Yo, Ashley also, I don't care about nothing today, okay?
I have no Snapchat.
you mother...
Hold these.
I'm gonna punch you in your larynx.
Cash, I don't think you understand how much that hurts.
I can hear it
You know,
over
it
here.
honestly hurts. But let's keep it a stack, though. Trump has finally done something right. And in my book, he's in my good graces right now until he fucks
For
up
tax
again.
money? Just
Yeah.
for tax money.
Yeah.
Until he files bankruptcy on the
Alex,
Kanye beef
I would
with
like
Trump.
some
I can't vote for
assistance.
Trump.
Can we clear up on what exactly you mean by 4 years of tax? Is it the tax that we were supposed to get back 4 years worth coming back to us?
Okay, so basically our deductibles were always...
The standard deduction.
The standard deduction is going to be lowered. So for the taxes that they took out 4 years back, where the deductible was raised in both New York City and federal, for both your New York City and
Or
your
New York
federal
State
taxes.
and local tax.
Yeah, and local taxes. They're going to minus those deductibles based on your numbers from back then and give you a refund check for those deductibles also.
So are you basically saying that just the taxes from 4 years back, or
Yeah.
every tax that was from 4 years
Just
back?
4 years
It's
back.
basically prorated so the difference, the extra that you have to pay up until now, they're going to prorate it for the last 4 years. So you're going to get extra money this year, and for the next 8 years, people who make under a certain amount of money who would get the standard deduction are going to be getting a little bit more back. Though 8 years from now, the rich are going to take over completely. So rich are going to get most of the tax cuts.
Yeah.
And anyone who makes under $50K a year is fucked
Shout
up.
out to the rich.
But yo, I'm gonna get me a new motorcycle this year. I'm happy.
Yo, wait. Speaking of 150 though. Speaking of 150,000, Milani, could you so there was an article I read where it's basically like Craigslist for the Upper East Side. You can get employed gentrified for Craigslist $150,000 a year to do their laundry.
Yo, we out.
Meal.
I would have made an outfit and a thong. I'm gonna be there. I'm making that change.
You can get this whenever you
Well,
want.
like $150K.
Cook, laundry, run errands.
Bro, my lasagna, like, come
There's
on.
something in
If
there.
he said smack his
I know,
wife,
it-
50K.
Yeah, that doesn't
Yeah,
sound
smack his
legit.
wife.
It doesn't sound legit.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
never
gotta
know.
say
Some
much.
people
There might
are
be
really
a-
fucking lazy.
There might be a like a little fine print in there that
Yeah,
says,
it's
you
like
know,
a cat.
or there probably is like a typo. It's supposed to be
Probably
1,500.
I'm gonna be like,
It's some
bonus if you
bullshit.
let me
Mine
pet
is
you. Like,
deductible.
I know it's some bullshit because you probably gonna need like a master's or some shit to do all this bullshit.
Yo,
Yo.
a PhD. They'll be like, I'm sorry, you don't qualify. You need a PhD to do
you
my
need a
laundry.
PhD in OxyClean.
That's a
No,
fact.
no.
I'd be better
You need
at
certificate
it. I
from
don't
Billy
separate
Mays
shit, so
University,
I'll probably
nigga.
be I'm good at laundry.
Shout out to Donald.
Shout out to
I
Donald
got no
Trump.
white clothes, so
My clothes come
Can
out
you
clean.
stop? Right.
I'm very
Yeah, we've been shouting out Donald Trump for like a minute. Not me.
Not my ass.
But
I'm very
I have
anti-government.
I have all this question for the people.
I'm waiting for them to blow up North Korea. Then we really chilling.
Yo.
Yo.
Alright,
Y'all know you're
controversy
really
aside,
Hit me
I-
up.
Get your shit out
do
of
you
here.
support
Alex is not in this, but go ahead.
do you support
Ashley
the
2.0.
tax refunds that we're getting?
Even not Alex. What's wrong with you? You got that connection.
Ash.
So
What?
are you happy about the fact
Yep.
that you're getting extra money back?
Yeah.
So why are you not
No,
supporting Trump right now?
Dude, I think for
I'm not.
me,
I'm
What?
against it.
so
I'm
I
with
can't
you.
be happy about getting
No,
money
but-
without being on his dick.
Let me explain why I'm against it. That's a fact.
Go ahead.
Let me explain why I'm against it.
You have a good point.
Was really all this shit that you went through really worth that money, bro?
What you mean?
With your life, bro. These last 4 years you worked for the government,
Your
bro.
life, bro.
Was it really worth it,
Your
bro?
life, bro.
I
Is
feel
that money
like
really worth it, bro?
I feel like taxation is theft, and this is basically a little doggy treat. Huh?
Would you be having with a 40 acres in the mule too?
Why is it only the past 4 years?
I'm pretty
Because Obama been
Yo,
fucking
I like how we
up.
talking about this. And look at
like
I think that's the problem.
Oh.
You see,
No, I
Trump
get it.
it wants to do he wants to get rid of everything Obama already did.
Look,
That's his goal, and that's why I don't like
That
it.
sound like a
Because
good
he
goal.
keeps going back onto everything. Oh, Obama this, Obama that, and wants to change everything. Even all the good, he wants to change it. All
was the
because
good?
it was Obama.
I'm asking
If
you.
it was Bush, his ass won't do shit. He would let it keep going,
But
right?
Bush
That's my
smacked the
thing.
shit out of him. Obama gonna let it rock. George Bush would have shoot
Well,
the
can
nigga.
I know what was the good? Go ahead and say
Yo,
it.
George Bush would have Dick Cheney shoot the nigga. Let's be honest.
Can I find out
Dick
what was
Cheney was out here.
Can you find out what's good about
Can I
what?
find out what was
Really out here.
the good that Obama did? Someone please tell me.
All right,
He gave
I'll
gays
give
more
you
rights.
business regulation.
Business
He was
regulation.
progressive, so he basically
Progressive.
he pushed a positive narrative.
Net neutrality, sure, okay.
Obama was the one who put Ajit Pai in the FCC,
Okay.
or the FCC. Trump just promoted him,
Okay, all right.
That's a fact.
but Obama basically pushed a narrative of he was a humanitarian at the end of the day, and he was an orator, and he basically set the standard. Like I said, the nation's leader is reflective of its nation, and then you have this idiot Trump, who, as much as whatever
There are a bunch of idiots here.
whatever benefits he's going to
Here
bring.
where?
She threw shots at all y'all.
I never heard him. Oh, yo, you here too?
In New
I
York,
said I was smart.
in America.
Oh, now you got.
All I'm saying is-
Was I the only one who understood it was America and not this room?
Thank you, Majority.
I don't know. You can get me clear
JP
about
point.
it, so I don't
JP rose to your
Right?
times too. Hold that. You called y'all idiots and she said she won't call on.
All I'm saying is this is a room entirely of colored people, and we should all know
Let
that
that
the
be known
Obama
right
era was the most successful era for us because it's basically
Hi, JP. Nobody asked you. Anyway, go on.
JP started
Proper
making
word.
bank after Obama
he
got out of
basically
office.
legitimized
That's your job.
people of
nigga.
color. Obama basically legitimized people of color.
And the LGBT community.
Well, high key, we only been through like 3 presidents. So, at the
Mhm.
same time.
Even
That's
just
right.
because we weren't born in the struggle doesn't mean the struggle doesn't affect
Yeah, I
us.
was like,
That's what I'm saying.
I was like,
Is that what I'm saying? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we've been
We
through
ain't talking to
3
you, we're talking
presidents
to
since we was born.
Preached it.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton, Bush, Obama.
And how
I'm
can you
saying
judge?
2 of them were trash.
Yeah.
Obama was like the easy one.
Yeah, bro, that's like saying you get 3 fully rotten
When you
apples,
born,
and then you get
95.
half a rotten.
Bill
Oh, that's
Clinton.
why.
Yeah, I was only for 3. Well,
But
Trump
even
now.
the 3 we had to judge. He was the best since
I'm saying easily the best.
JFK and LBJ. Like
He's
those are the
easily
only
the
ones
best
that's
rotten
arguable.
apple.
Hold up, who came after JFK?
LBJ.
Yeah, that's valid. My son LBJ gave us some rights. You saw a picture of John F. Kennedy after he got shot, bro?
That's a,
Why?
boy.
Why is that a
Nigga said-
joke?
nigga
Wait.
said- I got you a picture.
because that's a testament to America. He was the hope of our nation, and they shot him.
Nah, it's not the picture. It shows this girl's ass. And they said when the ass so fat, you pass out. Some shit like that. That's all it was.
I'm so fucked up. Wait.
All right, so we're not going to acknowledge Obama was the best president, not as a politician, but just as
I don't know,
a
because Trump's
humanitarian.
term ain't over.
I didn't even fuck
And
with
how
him.
it's looking, I'm about to get a major check from Trump soon.
The fact that as a black man you sell yourself for money shows how
Whoa,
weak you are.
Whoa.
That's your biggest accomplishment right
But
now.
the
That's all
thing
you
is,
got. That's what you
JP,
got.
play devil's advocate. This tax cut is this year only.
Yeah.
For the following 7 years, the standard deductions, you're probably only going to be about $200-$300 more in New York City. We're going to see the least of it.
Yeah.
And then after a certain point, the standard
It's
deduction is
short-lived.
going to increase, or the
like
allocation
his whole
of tax to the
campaign.
standard deduction is going to increase. So we're going to have to be paying more in taxes after these 8 years.
Nigga
Yeah.
played you.
So how do you feel about that?
Nigga played
It's
you.
like his,
You gonna
it's
get
like
it
his
right
whole
back.
campaign. It's very short lived. It's like I'm gonna do something for you right now, but then I'm gonna slap you in the face as soon as you turn around.
That's literally what David said. He
I
said we're
respect
gonna
that.
get the money back from the 4 years, and then no, he said
Suddenly
8
you're
years.
beginning to sweat.
And then the rest of people are gonna be like, all right, my turn.
Let's be honest. If in how much years? Y'all good?
I need y'all.
Come on, son.
I think is it possible for you to put the picture on screen so they can see it? I'll try
You
to.
put a video for?
No.
Put that flash in his
Let me
gold.
see. I'm gonna put it as the thumbnail. I'll put the picture as the thumbnail. Send me the picture. I'll put it as the thumbnail. But
That is so.
and let me pose the question to you guys. Do you guys see yourselves in the same economic state 8 years from now?
How the fuck I'm
All I'm saying is that, again, we're in a room full of colored people.
Either. If 8 years if I'm rich, I'm like,
So that what you're basically saying, we should walk outside and gentrify Brooklyn and ask a white person how they feel.
Jay-Z already did that for us. Jay-Z already did that for us.
All I'm saying is social mobility is harder for everyone in this room, including you. I get that you have goals and ambitions, but at some point you're gonna. I know we all have them.
Bro, are you saying that
No, but I'm speaking
at
directly
some
to
point
them
that
as
the white
adults.
man is going to shut down my climb?
I'm not
White
saying
man been
he's
trying to shut down your
I'm
clown for a
saying,
minute. So
I'm saying hard work and perseverance overcomes anything.
Okay.
But I'm
yeah.
saying you're gonna have to work harder and
Yeah.
overcome more
Yeah.
and persevere more than your white counterpart. So you can't pose that question.
Now, I said that to a group of kids in my department, and they all looked at me like I was crazy.
Because
because
Did you
you
say that
are.
word for word, or did you say it JP
I
style?
said
What
it
was the
in these
race
exact
down?
words. In these exact words, I said, as
Come on, guys, let's vote for it.
no, I said as students, because it was me, 2 other black students, and then 1 Spanish and 1 Indian. And I
the rest
told
were white
there
nation.
was no one else.
No one
It was
else.
just us. It was just
okay.
the 6 of us.
So all colored folk.
Yeah, all colorful. And I told them, us being in the architecture major, if we look at most of the architects who are successful and do something in this world, they're mostly white. For the exceptions, probably Zahad, Oscar Niemeyer. You guys don't know who the fuck I'm talking about, but
But I get your point. Prominent colored people.
the color people. There is 0 black architects who've shaped the world.
There's 0 black alive.
I mean,
free for
And I mean, the best pieces of architecture in history were built by blacks.
It was built, but it was designed by whites.
And
Those
the
are- you think it was
ideas
dumb?
No,
Aliens made the pyramids, bro. Stop
That's
playing.
not true.
That
That's
was
not necessarily true. There are a lot of inventions that were done by blacks,
that
but
were
the,
stolen.
but the
Peanut
rights
butter.
were taken
Peanut butter,
by
yeah.
whites, and whites
What about
put
the
their name on
pyramids?
it.
Let me lay some
That's a
facts
fact.
down.
God,
Let me lay
she
some
got receipts. Good girl.
So a lot of the stuff that you guys learn in elementary school to high school to whatever until you become black and woke when you take an African studies class is you learn that a lot of the ideas and practices and all that stuff was done by black people, and the things that happened to where they became quote unquote done by white people is only because the credit was given to them.
Yeah, they really out here.
Yeah,
When you really look at it, sorry, white folk who listen to this, a lot of white culture is taken from other cultures.
Fuck out of here. They were man.
I was gonna say like, what the hell is white culture?
White culture?
Let me take that back because I read a lot of the way.
Ginger ale. Come on, son.
Wait.
Not using soap.
Yo, West Indians make
Sharing one bar of soap.
Sharing
Sharing one bar of soap.
I was weak off ginger ale. What the
Whole
fuck?
Foods.
Fact. Campbell chicken noodle soup.
No, but okay. So let me take that the white because I'm looking at this as a whole because like if you really look at it, a lot of what what's a good word? European descent.
Anglo-Saxon.
Caucasian.
Anglo-Saxon.
Superior.
Anglo-Saxon. A lot of the Caucasian community, what they practice was actually borrowed or taken or stolen from another community.
They never get that shit back.
You're right. That's right.
But they do a little bit.
They definitely did so.
Never get that shit back.
And then they take it as it's basically like cultural appropriation.
Can I tie that into like just a modern Trump setting? Is that they take our culture and then they condemn us for it. Like when you have, little girls named Shaniqua, little boys named Deshaunathan, whatever you call them. People,
I love Uncle Joe names. I love it.
My homeboy Deshaunathan is over here like, oh, his white friend.
I'm sorry.
Alright, so my homeboy Deshaunathan, I have all these little white kids like, oh, why their parents named me Deshaunathan, playing with his hair and shit. But they forget that his culture is only about 100 years old, if that. Our culture was robbed from us. We were robbed from our native lands. I have no roots to my ancestry. I don't know where my ancestry is from. I know I'm part of Dominican.
My aunt took a ancestry test, and she.
I feel we need to avoid that constantly too. I feel we need that.
That's what I'm saying. Blacks have to start.
They got Ebola.
I got something to say about the ancestry.
Blacks in America have had to make a culture from scratch. And even so, we prospered. Harlem was a prosperous place.
On top of that, it was basically from that scratch took the stories and traditions from people before. Yeah. Like the way they grow their rice, the way they braid their hair, the way they carry themselves in a group, like church.
I feel we need to take over Australia. I feel like
what the fuck?
Australia? You are so random.
I'm not trying to know. That's the first time he said this.
You know how hard it is to go to
And they got spiders.
No,
they got magic ass spiders.
Wait. I want to hear why Australia.
That's a fact. Y'all brolic, bro.
Can we go somewhere where spiders are actually the not right size? Right?
Give me a place.
But I want to know why Australia. You never answered my question.
Give your place of what?
Where else?
Give him another place.
So we're about to Marcus Garvey the shit out of
I'm saying, give me a random place. Give me any place you feel like that would probably work out better.
That's not.
Well, what will work out better? I need to understand where
we are so disconnected from Africa. We can't go back to
White people do not need more land.
We don't need more land. We're good.
White people. I said black people need to go to Australia.
Oh, black people need to go to Australia?
I said we need to separate ourselves.
So you're Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, Marcus Garvey.
Oh, you should the wrong continent.
Take over. Yeah, let's go to
I don't think any part of Africa has spiders the size of.
But I'm saying Africa.
Not lions.
Africa really want
the kangaroos?
Come on.
Does
Africa really want us though?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Does Africa really want us though?
There's so many cultures.
So why we go back to Africa just to still not be like?
But we don't want ourselves.
I never said.
What?
We don't want ourselves.
And guess what? If we go to Africa, the people in Africa are going to be reminiscent of what we are to the white people.
We're going to be treated like less than in Africa too.
No,
we are so disconnected from this.
We're not going to be treated less than. We probably steal the culture from Africa. No. Just like how white people have done the same thing.
I didn't say we go over and take over Africa.
I'm trying to understand what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying you say some ridiculousness right
now. No, I'm not saying no ridiculous.
I get what you're saying because I just recently, like about a year and a half ago, I wrote an article about how whether or not it's possible for American blacks to appropriate African culture.
We don't want
it's not appropriation, it's a discovery of where you came from. And as opposed to like some white chick wearing a bindi at freaking Coachella.
Nah, man, if we go to Africa and we need water and we see the tribes using wells, we use wells.
We're not using wells. People go to Africa and be like, nah, I heard this water was dirty. No. That's like how we gonna act. We ain't gonna try to drink that. Nope. Okay.
See, but that's not based on the color of our skin. That's based on our first one.
I'm saying how we work. We couldn't just directly go into Africa and work out. It'll take like 2-3 generations before we like, all right, we coddling this.
I feel like she's better. Go to Africa, let nigga cough around you. You gonna be a little scared.
But that's not just looking at it this way. If you guys really look at that,
scared in Australia. Period.
Yo,
What's wrong with Australia?
They got big ass spiders.
Go.
And they got the biggest cockroaches.
Go tomorrow.
They got cockroaches that are 9 inches long.
I'm talking about the biggest thing.
A cockroach is longer than most penises in Australia. This is 9 inches. That shit is crazy. I want to see a 9-inch cockroach.
Nigga said 9 inches.
Yeah, that's the giant burrow cockroach, the biggest species of cockroach located in Australia. 9 inches.
No.
There's a lot of big. Wait, no.
Okay.
I used to want to be a vet, so you probably know that. On a regular.
I don't think it matters where black people go. Black people are hated everywhere.
Yeah,
People of color are hated everywhere. It doesn't matter. We can go to space and there will be some aliens.
We don't want you.
Actually, I have a side question.
It's so sad that
So I'm only saying this, so I'm gonna forget if I don't say it now. What do y'all feel about like white people with dreadlocks? Like how do you feel about that?
Oh!
I'm mixy about that.
So okay.
I'm mixing about that too.
Why are you mixing?
I'm against it, but like they want to do it, I'll let them cook if they understand they shouldn't be doing it. If that makes sense.
If you
Like
understand,
if they understand like where it comes from and why they shouldn't be doing it, and they truly understand that, I personally wouldn't care. But if you come here like, that's my hairstyle, why do you care? I'm just liking my hair. I'm showing cultural appreciation without like knowing some facts about it just because they thought it was cool, then I don't fuck with it.
But you're mixing for the same reason?
I think it's appropriation as well.
It don't look right.
I want your
It
point.
don't, because their hair's so
Their
thin.
hair's not meant for that.
Shit's mad nasty.
To have respect
They
for
don't know how to take care of it.
To have respect for someone's culture and for it not to be cultural appropriation, your own culture has to basically respect the other culture.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be rooted in white supremacy or benefit off of white supremacy currently.
And then wear dreads, do rag, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, not happening.
If I saw a white nigga with waves, I wouldn't be mad.
I don't think it's possible for a white nigga to have waves.
I don't think it's
Nah, wave cream, they probably got some wave cream for white people. They probably got some nice wave cream for white people.
First of all, for white people to actually have locks, you have to tease their hair in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So you're messing up your hair. It's not natural for your hair to do that.
You know this?
And
No, we know they ain't shit.
right, ain't shit. So I got some white friends off ball, but still. Anyway, so
I don't know.
You stuck.
Oh shit! I gotta work on my segue.
It's just because they look dirty with it.
It's just a lot. Like the thing that I've gotten, which is kind of confusing, is that so most people attribute dreadlock culture to Jamaica, and that and that pisses me off because Indians had it. Like people on like the Iberian Peninsula had it. Like
people in the Prince of Egypt,
Africans had it.
Africans had it. Like as long as your hair can get some sort of kink, you can do it.
But you have to understand that's also part of black consciousness because they forced us to cut it all off and we had to start it going from scratch.
Yeah.
There was only one group of people who really, had that no matter what. Mm-hmm. Like it was just like it's just how our hair grew or whatever. So you're gonna see less people with that now that we start getting westernized. But Jamaicans, Rastafarians in particular, had to have that kind of hair. That's part of their religion.
Right.
So of course they're gonna be accredited for it. But it's only because we lost our culture.
Right.
It's almost like it kind of like reminds me of Puerto Ricans when coming to America they were kind of hated because of the culture that they brought with them from Puerto Rico, and from then it was a lot of the kids that were growing up in the culture were taught to not speak Spanish, and like it's shown now. Like,
you coming at me, son?
No,
I speak Spanish.
Not coming at you. I'm just saying. Like, it's just an example. So like it can be shown in other examples too. Like in Dominican Republic, it's like they share a fence with Haiti. It's the same. It's like
I kind of understand why Dominicans really don't like Haitians, and it kind of makes sense.
Why? I am Dominican. I'm Dominican. I want to know.
I personally
Everybody relax.
I personally, but what happened was after Haiti got free, they tried to slave Dominicans, and Dominicans wasn't fucking with it. They got out, and now they really hate the niggas. I feel it's kind of ridiculous now. It's kind of old because they don't hate white people while hating Haitians too. They kind of chose
Who don't hate white people?
I'm talking about
You hate white people?
No,
I do.
Dominicans.
I'm Dominican, and I'm gonna tell you, Dominicans. No, we do not like Haitians. They try to kick. I'm gonna say they because I'm not part of it. They wanted to kick out all of the Haitians, and the darker you are, the more they hate you.
That's
so in Dominican Republic,
I'm saying it's ridiculous, but I'm saying the fact that they
Which
like it because they tried to slave them made sense. How they reacted to it like 50, 60 years down the line, kind of unnecessary. But especially when they like, when they got like Haitian connects, like Dominicans still Haitians and make them slaves.
They can't stand.
Can I ask which one came first?
What?
Haiti been there. It was what they call Haiti.
Okay, so Haiti was first. So why do the Dominicans think
I just told you what.
Alright, so you have to understand a little thing about Haiti. I mean, well, Dominican Republic now. Dominican Republic and Haiti were one country.
Do we have any Haitians here?
Nope. Ayo.
I'm Dominican.
Yeah.
I might be part Haitian. I don't know.
She was not.
At the end of the day, we go trace it back. We all come from the same damn place.
What I was saying.
I'll tell you about Dominicans.
You come back to this. But what I was basically saying, as an example, was people have forgotten their roots, so they kind of sit it on the basis of what other people think.
I don't think it's
niggas don't forget their roots.
I don't think it's because you forgot your roots were forgotten. I think you were forced to forget.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah,
you were forced to
but in the same sense, you still
niggas hate their roots. That's what it is. Niggas really just hate their roots.
Facts.
I mean, now in modern days, sure.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about in general. I'm talking about just modern day.
You think modern day people hate their roots?
Yeah,
of course.
The millennials? I think the millennials.
Well, no. I don't think. I think millennials are the only, thus far, the group that is actually looking to their roots.
Yeah.
Because prior to the millennials, like things like
I'm talking about in general. Right now, the millennials ain't the one controlling the planet right now.
But if you think about,
we got like 20 years before we started.
Are you talking about who is in power?
Yeah, talking about who's in power now.
But I think you're also forgetting so the 8 of us here, generally, smart, we keep up with current times, whatever, we're pretty liberal. There's a whole other nation of children our age who don't care about this, who are taking drugs, fucking like no tomorrow.
Yeah, drinking.
There's equally as many kids who don't care and only perpetuate the stereotype that, I need to have money, better car than you, take your bitch.
That's what I was saying.
There's a whole culture.
Yeah, that's what I was saying was the fact that, like, in the long sense, people have been forced to forget. They, in a sense, still forget. And the values and morals and things that they grow up with are the wrong values and morals, and it doesn't connect to who they once were. And
of course, yeah.
I don't know. I think niggas was TYB and niggas back in Africa, like keeping it static.
What?
Yeah, like. Wasn't it the whole idea that black people just lived off gold and shit back in the day? Like, ain't that already a thing?
Well, in
iron.
I would say and in West Africa. Gold was in,
but it wasn't really worth anything, but niggas had
I mean, they couldn't forge it yet.
No, they couldn't. It was just literally the barter system.
Yeah, they proved that Egyptians weren't really slaves. They actually got paid for their work.
But then also Egypt was called
they had slavery. Yeah,
Egypt was seized and
I thought the ones who built the pyramids they technically were like taught math and shit. They weren't like broke niggas.
Now that we bring up Egypt, have you guys ever heard about the Jewish people and black people always competing about who had it worse?
Yes.
I mean, the black people
had it worse.
Look, blacks can't get a museum that has an end, all right? Because our slavery shit's still going on. So our museum probably going to shut the entire.
Yeah, I mean, the thing. So here's the thing. So I think historically,
it's because the museum that the Jews have, how it's designed. Mm-hmm. I forgot the architect. It's like there's a start point and then an end point that tells a story. I don't remember the architect. But I know what the building looks like. It's like a zigzag, and it's a really nice building. Yeah. But it has a start and an end of when the Jews' problem started. Is the problem?
Trials and tribulations.
Trials and tribulations. Yeah, like when
anti-Semites.
Yeah, when their shit
Let's
started.
tread lightly on this topic. You might want to delete all this shit. All I'm saying is you might want to delete this too. I swear to you. Like not even as a joke.
Not
even if you're not getting views. All I'm saying is that I think historically Jews may have had it worse, but they own most of the wealth in the world now.
Yeah.
That's because they keep everything in their family.
I know. At this point, they own, there's Jewish families that have trillions.
I don't know, bro. I feel you kind of set that question up wrong. Because, like, the original Jews were black.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like a double pimp combo. Like,
okay.
I mean, the Israelites, yeah.
Are we talking facts here, or are we just talking?
Cash is
no.
The Israelites were black. Yeah. The children of Simeon were black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know about all the cultures. I had a brother who... There's an Israelite school in Harlem that I'm the super of the building, so that, you know, they teach me a lot of things. But basically, even if we consider the modern Jews, the modern white Hasidic Jews, Jewish, like true, if we consider the modern Jews Israelites, even the Hasidic ones, I think even if they make the argument that they were oppressed more, at this point they're winning the race. Not only do they have white privilege, they also have Jewish privilege, where they got their own country, and their own country is...
And then accommodation.
You know, probably is the worst life ever. A gay black Jew.
A gay black Jew.
What level of
Lenny Kravitz? I don't care what they tell me.
Who's gay?
What level of Jew is though? Huh? Like a Hasidic Jew, a gay black Hasidic Jew, which by the way is probably not the real thing.
Yeah, they're not Israelites. They're not.
Really quickly.
You cannot be black in the city.
Since we're on the topic of, you know, gay, Jewish, black being hated, I'm just going to ask you guys.
You might want to cut off that.
I'll think about it. Like, I don't cut out shit.
They don't want the government comes from.
Once the government comes from JP, I am not made for it.
The Jews are powerful, I'm telling you.
Based on how this podcast is going, technically we can get sued right now. But anyway, I'm talking about the last episode, bro. We could get sued for that shit.
This is your content, bro.
The only name that's on this is you.
But yeah, I wanted to ask you guys about the cake designer who decided to turn away a gay couple. Because
you mean like down south?
Now, but the thing is, it's not down south. Florida is down south. Oh shit.
Yo, what a ride!
I gotta get context.
Okay.
He's turned down divorce cakes before.
Also really Christian. That's what it was.
Yeah, he turns down any kind of cakes that's in the celebration against his religion. Yeah. Okay. Any cake like that, he turns it down.
So basically, anything that's negative to him.
It's in the Supreme Court.
I feel that to his beliefs. One can actually go against him. You really follow his beliefs.
And you should be able to sell your art to whoever you want, right?
I'm not saying this, right? But I'm saying if you really follow his religion, I can't really fault the nigga.
It's in the Supreme Court right now.
Yeah, but his religion is like you can't tell him his religion.
If you out here like,
and it's art. It's not like he's selling water.
If you're out here like, I'm gonna fuck you up, like, nah, he ain't doing that.
Yeah, he just said he just turned on the.
If he was selling water, and he was like, "Oh, I sell water to everyone but gays," that's one thing.
That's a problem.
It's his
art.
It's his art. It's his business. Yeah. And if it's part of his religion, you can't fault him for it.
I mean, right now, this case is in front of the Supreme Court.
That's corny.
So,
if it were, hypothetically speaking, if it were me, I would turn up on him. But, you know, there's other people.
I mean, I think we need more details.
Okay, no case.
I think we need more details.
I mean, that's all the details that were available because it's a closed case, so they're not going to give out.
If there was actual discrimination,
I think that's what it is.
If there's, and I'm pretty sure there's discriminatory.
It's probably because he's white.
But
he is white, and the couple was black who was asking him.
But,
so,
by what you said so far, I think in terms of art, you can cater your art however you want,
right?
As long as it's not pushing a discriminatory method. But like refusing to do art for certain people is completely fine.
Yeah, because like me as hopefully future architect, if a client comes to me and they want something and it's against my beliefs and wanting to build that whatever it is, I should be able to say no and not be taken to court.
Again, there's nothing wrong in general. There's nothing wrong with having prejudice towards other people as long as that prejudice is not one that does not evolve into something else. Like the difference that whites, like any prejudice that whites have towards blacks is racist.
Okay.
Fundamentally, but in the sense of like gays or whatever, it's not a fundamental thing like I don't want to make a cake for someone.
So let me bring this full circle for you guys. The bill that was passed to allow gay marriage, ever since that has been passed, the lawsuits with gay couples and enterprises has almost gone up by 150%. Now, I'm not saying.
You better watch your ass. I'm not here with the claws. You good?
Let me say that.
What happened?
I'm just saying.
If you gonna G-check you, shit get crazy.
The bill has seemed to be an avenue for gay couples to sue for anything that they are not afforded.
We did the same.
Okay, I was just about to say that.
We did the same shit.
As a black lesbian, and a woman.
Well,
I mean,
you're
I'm not a
lesbian.
single
woman.
Yeah, we gotta stop the single gender.
That's not necessarily true.
California got a third gender, so you get.
I was like, that's not necessarily true. I don't have to identify as a woman to be a
I'm
lesbian.
kangaroo jumping.
So you're an idiot, but you can.
Your sister talks just like you.
So.
They're gonna get this shit screwed up. And that's what Jory dropping these points. But go ahead.
You're a ventriloquist.
How? If I move my mouth.
Me over here, fam.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, break it point now.
So, fuck. So as a black woman who identifies as a lesbian, I can do it as an equal opportunity employer as a black woman. Having been afforded my right to vote, my right to be a citizen, all that other shit that applies as a black woman, a black person. Then as a woman, I've afforded my right to vote. And now there's the wage gap and all that other stuff that applies as being a woman. And then being a lesbian as well. So no matter what you put, I feel like every law that comes into fruition, there are avenues for things like that to happen. So recently, there are a lot more lawsuits in terms of that are relative to hijabs.
Yeah.
And that also comes with the equal opportunity employment.
Men of power, black men of power, and white men of power have been getting hit with lawsuits by women claiming sexual harassment and all these other things. Now, let me ask you this.
I have a big point about that.
If you and a woman are flirting in some sort of way or form, you're not allowed to ask that person, like, can we take this to the next level? Verbatim, the guy asked the woman, who he has dated in the past, take heed, it is 6 years ago, but he did ask her, verbatim, have we had sex before? He said, have we had sex before? That's funny, I can't remember if we did. Now she's suing for sexual harassment.
That's completely different than what you said.
Are you talking about a case?
But
This is an actual case.
This is
okay, but that's that one case. That doesn't mean that that's what's going on in the workplace every single day.
So we're not going to sit here and act like five more women has come out after this lady.
And for that same guy?
No, yes, with the same guy saying that
putting pills in bitches.
No, look at it this way. If one woman comes out and say, oh, I've been sexually harassed by this guy, and he makes a statement saying, look, I don't remember it going that way, but if it did, I am sorry. That's him not denying, or
that means he definitely know he said something sus. He just
but he just doesn't like.
Send that nigga.
But hold on. And then 5 other women come out and ask for a payday off of the guy for the same thing. Like, you guys are not telling me that women are not using this as an avenue to sue men of power?
Can I talk about that?
Seriously?
Can I talk about that as a man?
Like it never happens.
I want people to know that there are men in this world who understand that women go through sexual harassment all the time. They get catcalled. They're harassed on an everyday basis.
That's a fact.
And don't deserve to go through.
And I do not agree with that. But go ahead.
All right. With that being said, I want to talk about something from the man's, not for just the man's perspective.
That's a fact, but I don't agree.
There are women.
I don't agree with the catcalling. I don't agree with disrespecting women. I have all respect for women.
There are women who are getting accused of sexual harassment as well. So what I want to say to accusations in general is the point of accusations. Well, the thing about accusations is that it always gives the benefit of doubt to the accuser.
Exactly.
And
just like rape.
All right, before anything, is... Can I just talk, bro?
Go ahead.
I want to get to my... The accuser has the benefit of the doubt. The accuser doesn't have to go through polygraphs. They get their hand held the whole way.
Exactly.
By civil rights activists, by whatever. They have complete control of the situation, while the accused is at the mercy of the court. And even the people and the media. Because no matter how you paint it, once you get an accusation, that is enough to discredit someone.
Exactly.
The thing about Bill Cosby, he still hasn't been tried in any of these. And about
convicted.
25 to 30 of these allegations were proven to be false.
Facts.
So
and they wanted money.
Not to discredit what he said, not to discredit what he did if he did such things. All I'm saying is that the accusation seems to be a lot more powerful than the actual outcome or the or whatever charges brought against them. So what I'm thinking is we have to change the narrative on how we, publicize like accusations in general.
I mean, as a guy, as soon as a woman says, "Oh, this guy raped me," or "This guy sexually assaulted me," the first thing that happens is everyone's jumping on that girl's side to give her support. Now, granted, I pray for everyone who's ever been raped and ever been sexually assaulted, or anything bad has ever been done to them or mistreated by a man in any way or form. I pray for them. But the ones who are not victims and are trying to benefit off of the victims, that's like way out of bounds.
All right, so I had a problem with the coverage of accusations. I think it should be held in private. All the facts should be taken because they're not to be taken lightly because they can end someone's career, like they can end someone's life. Yeah. And of course, with people of color, if a white woman accuses a black male
of
any sexual accusation,
it's been done before,
and it's been done, and they've been false. Black men go to jail at longer sentences than whites. Think about that swimmer who raped a woman in a crowded, like in a frat house or whatever. And
she was unconscious.
He was a swimmer or whatever, and they had to pull him off of her. Like that's how bad it was. And he got 6 months. He got 6 months in jail. Only served 3 months. And he's out. And now he is suing the state or the city because he wants that sexual.
No. As a matter of fact, now that when he got out, they said that they weren't going to put it on his record because they didn't want to ruin his life, tarnish his name or whatever. So that ended up not part of his record.
And people of color, if the same thing were to happen to them and the accusations ends up being false, we serve more time. And that's just in general, that's across the board, which is what I'm saying. It doesn't even have to do with sexual assault accusations. It has to do with any accusation, period. Is that they need to be, one, not publicized. There should be no bias going into the case. And I honestly feel that anyone who rapes, not sexually harasses or whatever, but anyone who rapes, especially children or anything like that, needs to be thrown on a boat and just fed to sharks. Because sharks are free. That solves the problem. Now, you don't got to worry about them sitting in
I understand the publicity. The publicity is for in case it goes to a jury.
That's what I'm saying. They have to. Well, what I'm saying is, if we change, what I'm saying is that it solves the problem. It solves two problems because if you change the publicity, someone gets around a crime. Think about it like this: even school shooters, every time they commit a mass shooting in America, these guys are glorified. Whether subconsciously, whatever. What I'm saying is that no matter what crime you commit, there should be a level of discretion. There should be some covertness around it, and there should all facts need to be given out, even. That means that, of course, the accuser, if in case that she or whoever the accuser is, was in fact wronged, it's a bit harder for them. But then again, no one should be having to serve, to be punished for a crime they haven't even been tried for. That's the foundation of this country. So I think to that regard,
I don't even think it's just country. I just think the way journalism is unfortunately structured. It's we jump first, and then we get to find the facts afterwards.
Like if someone robbed me and I accused them, I don't want anyone to hold my hand. I want to be able to know that with my story, the facts, the circumstances are enough to prove. And that's when again people in higher power, usually whites, have enough money, have enough, they get testimony, they can always bully people, they can always they can always pay you enough money to change your mind, and then they don't have to serve any time. It's a little bit of inconvenience, but money gets you out of prison. Right. Which is what I'm saying. For people of color, we have to protect ourselves. We have to make sure that accusations aren't enough to end someone's life. Right. And of course, at the end of the day, your punishment for whatever crime you commit has to be brought by a jury. And after the fact, once all the details are released,
if the jury is not
biased or whatever, even so, that's going to take hundreds of years, maybe never be fixed.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Until you are proven guilty, there should be no sort of reprimand. Though some of these white Hollywood executives are crazy. I heard some of these sexual allegation stories. Some of these shits are crazy.
Yeah, some of these shits are crazy. I heard there was one with
C.K. Lewis. He actually openly admits, there was 6 women that have come forward that basically saying that he's literally masturbated in front of
Louis C.K.
Yeah, Louis C.K.
I heard about that.
And then I heard there's another story.
He's like, that's me. Like, just openly, just said, yeah, that's me. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I don't deny that
there was another one who has like a button under his desk that closes the blinds and the doors to his office whenever he has someone in there. I mean, these are things that...
I mean, him having the button is illegal.
That button,
yeah, but it's kind of creepy. And like, it's kind of creepy, you know?
I mean, it's no different than any pleasure. Like, if I have like
a business sport,
yeah, like, you know, if you just have some shit that just put the blinds on you while you beat this man on the job, I ain't gonna judge it.
It's not like, alright, if it's some shit that like,
if you bring you into a room and then he press the button, you like, yeah, you know what?
Imagine you walk into a normal office or whatever, and it looks like a regular normal office, and there's a button. And a disco ball comes out. The room turns dark. And he's playing like fucking Barry White or some shit.
Oh my god! Oh, the hard bed comes out like Quagmire. He just slides onto the bed
and it pulls out free roofied wine. Just like that. Then I understand. But that is not.
Can we get back to
the point is, you can do whatever the fuck you want with your house, whatever. It's the. You need consent for anything. People don't understand the consent part.
Yeah.
I can do whatever the fuck I want with my crib. I can have a fucking statue of David that comes out of my floor with a bigger penis.
I love it. I can't wait to meet the sculptor who's gonna erect that for you. It's gonna be mad.
Erect that for you?
No pun intended. But can we get back to the point that you were sorry? Slothfully made
about. The point was facts, but it had nothing to do with what JP said.
Yeah, I was just trying to say that a lot of now I understand that there are actual victims here, but there are women that are using the victims as an avenue to get money out of these people.
Well, that's exactly like when you see people begging for money on the street. Half of them don't really need it.
When there's an outlet for people to make money, people are going to make money.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that women who generally lie, women who generally make false accusations, have a habit of it. That's habitual. That's not. If a woman makes one allegation, generally she's telling the truth. It's not like, or she found one opportunity, but usually there's no pattern. With women who make these accusations, especially these like 30 women accusing one guy, there's usually a pattern of sexual assault. Like
the way I'm seeing it is like at this point, if you're a man of power, you cannot take the chance of flirting with a woman.
That's not true.
No, it's not true. It's just
in the workplace. I'm saying in the workplace. Yeah, like if you're a man of power, you just are unable to flirt or even say anything.
The way you say it is just.
All I'm saying is,
and it's what you do is where your hand is going. I mean, why your hand gotta go on her knee?
Like I would love to know, like the definitions.
Don't touch me.
I would love to know what's the difference between sexual assault, sexual harassment. What's the difference in the charges? I need to know like the difference.
It varies state to state. It's a big thing. But just know if you sexually assault a woman, you're going to jail.
You're going to jail because you're assaulted.
And if you sexually harassed her.
You're going to pay a fine. You're probably going to have to do a letter, some community service. And she might, and that's only in criminal court. In civil court, you have to pay money.
So sexual harassment is if the woman feels uncomfortable with what you said.
I mean, no, there's guidelines.
Did, said, touched.
All right, so
and what's the proof to this?
Oh, no.
I mean, it's very loose. It's very super loose. But just imagine this. Imagine you treat every woman like a man for a second. Just imagine every woman that walks into your office, you treat her like a man. You won't usually have that problem. And even at that point, if she does make an allegation, those usually never go to court anyway.
I would say some gay shit to my bro if he was working on.
Come on.
Oh my god. My guy.
Not crazy.
This is what I mean by digging your own
grave. Looking mighty big, bro.
Imagine every woman in your office look like Michael Clark Duncan. And just imagine that. And treat every woman as they were Michael Clark Duncan. And rest assured that a lot of these allegations wouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. If you treat women like a normal human being.
Exactly. And that was the point about.
And if you have to think about it as I would treat a woman like a man or a man like a woman, that means you don't have gender roles down
or respect for that's what it is. Yeah. And that was to your point earlier.
We'll never have that problem.
Right. About their point earlier is like women sexualize themselves. It's not that women sexualize themselves. It's how you perceive a woman to be sexualized in your brain. If I wore a skirt and some tights with some high ass heels, and I wanted to wear a blazer with a shirt that's right here, you should not be like, "Oh, that bitch looking bad today." You should be like, "She's professional."
That queen is looking beautiful today.
Your mother eyes.
Thanks for shit.
Yeah. Thank you, my crash.
So, no.
It's not.
It's like if you see a girl at the beach, you ain't gonna give her the same look as you give a girl at the thong at your house,
Even though it's literally this. I can't.
You understand the placement. You understand where it's at.
Yeah.
You can't be doing
It's only.
You can look.
What?
I think. All right. So Kash could probably.
I'm looking.
That I've generally been very critical of women in my past.
Yeah.
I guess because I went through not an accusation, but I've dealt with women who exaggerate stories, whatever.
It happens.
Even if they're baseless, it happens.
Yeah.
And we hit it off right away. Never creepy, just natural conversation. If you know how to treat a human and you know how you want to be treated, there's never going to be a problem. You never have to deal with double standards. You never have to deal with accusations. You never have to deal with anything like that. And that's with someone you meet the first time around. You can hit it off with someone the first time, and it never have to elevate to something like accusations, double standards. Oh, I have to do this. You have to do that. Or gender roles or anything like that. And that's what America needs to learn, or just the future.
They need to learn morals.
Yeah, once you learn how to treat a human, and that literally comes from how you're treated. And again, I know a lot of kids have bad lives growing up. It's compounded. There's bad parenting.
You can grow out of that.
Beating is a substitute for bad parenting, apparently. There's a lot of that, and that's what we need. That's the healing we need, more so. And you're going to see that these sexual assault allegations, these sexual harassment allegations are going to go down. The gender roles in society are going to go down as long as we teach our children how to treat other people and how they deserve to be treated. And that's the main issue, more so than, oh, do women dress this certain way? People are allowed to be individuals without being judged.
Right. If you really look at it,
that fact button real quick.
Thank you guys.
You ready?
It's supposed to 11, no?
Go ahead.
No.
Thank you guys for, I guess, listening. Right? Shout out to everyone who's been a part of
Kanye West. Shout out to Northwest.
We've been shouting out a whole bunch of people, and I don't know if anyone realized,
the ding has disappeared. It's coming back season 2.
Can we just have
Remind me, just in case I forget, my second son will be named Kanye West.
All right, season 2, I'm going to be here more.
Kanye
we got
West
better hardware.
Season 2, we coming back at you with some new stuff?
Yeah, season 2, we're coming back. Season 2, a lot of things are going to change.
I can't stand Kanye West even.
I hope to see you guys next year.
You watched it?
Yeah, I said it out
I knew it.
I knew he was going to get tight.
Bye-bye.
He said, "Why she here?" Bye, guys.
What exactly did you say, David?
You gonna listen, bro. Next thing you know, you gonna get mad.